Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this new video podcast with Fleet Europe. Today, it's time to talk about the fleet marketplace in Europe, and we do that with Dataforce. My guest is Marc Odinius. He is the CEO of Dataforce. Marc, welcome to this video podcast. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you, Stephen. Hope you too. And I'm really looking forward to share a few trends, what we see in the market at the moment.
Yes, we are looking forward to that too. Of course, we are living in a particular situation still with the pandemic. Last year, we saw that there was a big impact on transportation and mobility in general, also in Europe. If we look this year, 2021, at the first 6 months, what would be your analysis of that first half year?
So, to be honest, the first half year was really good. So it was better than expected. So we bounced back 36%. So growth 36% in the Euro 16 countries, which is very good. So we're really scraping with a few countries, the 2019 figures. Few markets like Poland, Czech Republic are even over. But overall, I think we can be really pleased how well fleet is holding up. Last year already, a bit better than private market. And this year also, we're already regaining quite a lot of the lost potential.
And can you share some more figures about how the market has recovered already?
Yes. So I would say very astonishing for me when I look through the figures. So I'm really digging deep often. But now, currently, 3 of the biggest markets in Europe show now that the fleet market is the biggest channel. So in France, in the UK, and in Germany, fleet has the biggest share in the market. And I think that's not usual. So, and maybe it won't hold out forever, but I think that shows how strong fleet is compared to the private demand currently. And we also see that other markets are doing quite well. And the only markets where I see a less big recovery is in the Scandinavian markets, but that's due to the fact that they actually didn't lose so much last year. And that means that Denmark, Finland, Norway are okay still, even though they don't show these monster growth rates at the moment.
You are based in Germany. That is also a very important fleet market. Is there something to mention about that marketplace?
Yeah, Germany is pretty strong. So it didn't lose so much last year. So it lost about 22%. And it's already recovering back up to, I would say now, still just about 8% or 7% behind 2019. And we wouldn't have expected that. And we have a monster share in alternative powertrain in Germany too.
Okay, let's talk about alternative powertrains. This is a trend, of course, that is going on since years now in Europe. We see sort of an acceleration. Do you also see that in the fleet figures for 2021?
Yes, so we were moving up at the beginning of the pandemic. We were about 3%, 3.5% electric vehicles, hybrids and plug-in hybrids. So they shared about 9-10%, which was already good. Now, plug-in hybrids and electric vehicles alone share 20%, the rest about 5%. So we are now at a quarter of all registrations, which are alternative powertrain. And the trend keeps continuing because we have quite a lot of subsidies running still for quite a few months and years to come. So also the pressure on the CO2 emissions will be pretty high, so that we can see that this will continue, and we see still rising levels, and it's becoming more normal even in fleets, and that's quite a nice trend we can see here.
Now let's look a little bit to the rest of the year, the outlook for 2021. What is your prognosis for 2021?
Yeah, the V-shaped recovery we had last year after the closure months. Now we're moving into comparison to those months. And that means now the big recovery growth rates, which we saw, won't happen now in the following months. So we will slow down in recovering because last year wasn't so bad, especially turning out the third and fourth quarter. So that will be tougher. We have semiconductor shortages, which are a pretty big pain in terms of delivering the vehicles, sometimes even delivering it to the right market. So we are not quite sure how much volume the OEMs are able to actually deliver, but the demand is there. The demand is rising because the park is rising too in fleet. So, but what we see is that we probably end up in between 2019 record year and now what we do 2021 is to recover halfway, a bit more than halfway, actually 2/3 of the way, which we lost compared to 2019. So pretty good year, actually.
And if you compare Europe perhaps to the rest of the world, is Europe still that vibrant fleet market, in your opinion?
Yes, for sure, especially now with the electrification going on. So we have a lot of new things running in the market, a lot of changeovers, a lot of schemes coming along, which we might touch on if we have time, like the subscription schemes, which we see the more flexibility. We have the less mileage. We have more pressure on the used car market. So there's a lot of things going on in the fleet market, and we can see the figures are still rising. And the company is going strong because also the government support is pretty big during the pandemic. So we didn't have so many insolvencies. So we see the business market still very strong in Europe.
Okay. Final question about your company, Dataforce. You are a specialist in gathering fleet data, automotive data, not only in Europe, also outside of the region. What can the audience expect from your company in the months to come, in the year to come? Is there some focus for Dataforce?
Yes, maybe we touched on this already in this presentation. So we are really deep diving the alternative powertrain now and the CO2 emissions and everything which we call in our product portfolio Road to Zero. So we have a specific portfolio there, specific focus. So far, you might know us as the channel experts, the fleet experts, and now we are deep diving alternative powertrain, also looking into the different regions of the world. And that's our new focus. And also, which nobody knows, I think, is that we do quite a lot of lead generation, which is a totally different topic. And that's something which is from our distant past, which now re-emerges in the market.
So, like the fleet market in Europe, also Dataforce has a promising future. Great to hear. Marc Odinius, thank you very much. Thank you for your presence and being with us and sharing your expertise. And to the audience, if you like this interview, share it with your colleagues and with your network. And of course, we hope to meet with you again soon for another episode of the video podcast of Fleet Europe. Thank you very much, Marc.
Thank you, Stephen. Thanks for having me. Have fun. Bye.
Bye-bye.